Welcome back. Are you ready to grow with Manny? So, in today's Food for Thought, we're diving into a topic that hits close to home for many of us: beliefs and how we communicate them. You know, each one of us, we carry a unique set of beliefs. Think of it as a suitcase, right? And it's filled with experiences, lessons, and perspectives. Sometimes we hold on to these beliefs so tightly that it's like we're clutching onto a lifesaver in a storm, desperately trying to convince others to grab onto. Now, have you ever met someone who seemed determined to convince everyone that their viewpoint is the only way to see things? Well, it's as if they believe that their opinion is the ultimate truth. Now, maybe you find yourself in that similar spot, feeling that urge to silence differing opinions, almost like a protective instinct for your own ideas. But here's the thing: even if we think our opinions are beneficial, imposing them on others can feel overwhelming. Imagine being in a room where everyone is shouting their thoughts and you're just trying to catch your breath. Now, it's no wonder why people, right, sometimes push back. It's like asking someone to change a part of themselves that they're not ready to part with. So, instead of labeling opinions as right or wrong, what if we approach discussions with a little humility? Whether it's about your child's career choices, a new business idea, or health tips, we can share our thoughts confidently while keeping the door open for others' views. Think about it like this: everyone comes from different backgrounds, with their own personalities and comfort zones, just like you and I do. Our role isn't to force our insights on others. It's to share them and then step back, allowing others the space to make their own choices. See, when we respect those choices, we're actually empowering them to see our perspective more clearly. Now, let's take a moment here. Think about a time when someone tried to convince you of their viewpoint. How did that make you feel? Did it make you more open to their ideas, or did it create resistance? Remember, shifting perspectives is a gradual journey. It's not like flipping a switch, right? It takes time. So let's be patient and empathetic as people navigate their own path. If you're intrigued by this idea, I highly recommend checking out Nonviolent Communications, A Language of Life by Marshall B. Rosenberg. It's a fantastic read that dives deep into empathy, understanding, and respect in our interactions. Now, Rosenberg offers practical strategies to express our needs and feelings without imposing our views on others. It promotes compassion and dialogue, which is something I believe we could all benefit from, right? Now, let's reflect on a relatable story involving a parent and a child. Picture this. A parent notices their child is spending more time playing video games than doing their homework. Instead of approaching the situation with frustration or judgment, the parent decides to use nonviolent communication. The parent might say something like, "I feel worried when I see you playing video games instead of doing your homework because I care about your education and I want you to succeed." See, this gentle approach invites the child to understand the parent's feeling without feeling attacked. Now, in return, the child is encouraged to share their feelings about homework and gaming. What if the child says, "I don't like homework because it feels boring, and I feel more relaxed when I play games"? Well, this opens the door to a dialogue where both parties can express their needs and concerns. By focusing on feelings rather than blame, the conversation fosters understanding and cooperation, paving the way for a constructive resolution. Now imagine the child feeling heard and understood. How much more likely are they to adjust their behavior when they feel respected? Think about that one. Now, let's explore another powerful example from Marshall Rosenberg himself. He once found himself in a cab with a driver who made some pretty uncomfortable racist remarks. Imagine how much he must have felt. Anger bubbling up, frustration swirling. But instead of reacting with judgments, Rosenberg practiced nonviolent communication. He calmly observed the situation and acknowledged his discomfort. He said, "I feel uncomfortable when I hear you speak that way about people. By sharing his feelings without placing blame, Rosenberg opened up a space for dialogue. Surprisingly, the driver, caught off guard by Rosenberg's calmness, began to reflect on his own words. Instead of becoming defensive, he engaged in a conversation about why he felt that way. This allowed Rosenberg to share his perspective on the impact of such views, asking, "What did you hear me say?" Not in a condescending way, but in a place or from a place of genuine empathy. Now, I invite you to think about a time when you encountered someone with a different viewpoint. How did you handle it? Did you feel comfortable sharing your feelings, or did you hold back? What would it look like if you approached that conversation with empathy instead of judgment? Through this interaction, Rosenberg showed that nonviolent communication can be a powerful tool in addressing prejudiced behavior. Rather than escalating tensions, he created a moment for reflection and understanding. Now, this story, it emphasizes the importance of approaching difficult conversations with a compassion and willingness to communicate openly. So, as we wrap up today's conversation, let's remember that while our beliefs are important, how we communicate them matters even more. Let's aim to share our insights while creating space for others' perspectives. By doing so, we can really create understanding, empathy, and kindness in all our conversations. Now, before you go, take a moment to think back or think about one belief you hold strongly. Now, consider how you might share that belief with someone who sees things differently. What if you approach that conversation with openness and curiosity instead of trying to convince them? Thanks for joining me today. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, to subscribe, and to share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd really love to hear your stories about navigating conversations and respecting different opinions. Until next time, keep that dialogue going.